Hi, I'm Ian Brett.
Hi, I'm Chris Benstead, and we're both driving instructors.
We'd like to welcome Eve from Driving Instructor Services, who we've asked along to help us explain about the Driving Instructor and Trainers Collective and why we think it's an opportunity for the entire driver training sector.
Hi guys, thanks for having me. I'm really keen to figure out what on earth you guys have been up to, what this whole DITC thing is. So if you can just give us a little overview of who you are for those of us who don't already know, if anybody doesn't already know. So over to you guys.
So Chris and I have been working together for about 8 years, maybe 9, and
Seems longer.
in a way that represents what we're trying to create on a bigger scale. When we started working together, we were working on an NLP course, and we used to meet up regularly to discuss how we're going to promote that. And whilst we were there, we were talking about our driving schools and how I'd have to update my website, Chris had to upgrade his website, and we were doing the same jobs twice. So we decided that we'd start working together, and it solved that isolation that a lot of independent driving instructors feel, and also a lot of instructors who are with franchises feel. You're out on your own in your car. The only people you're really seeing are your pupils, and that becomes it's very difficult because you come in, you build rapport, you get a relationship, and they move on. Before COVID hit, we wanted to address some of the frustrations we saw with the way the industry worked. But it was the usual industry story of having the time, money, effort, and public desire. Then COVID hit and we saw a chance.
And at the start of COVID and the start of lockdown, I looked outside and there was just nothing. It was silence. And we weren't hearing anything from the DVSA or from the associations at that point. And a story I've told a few times, I got turned away from my second Tesco's, and they'd shut the doors early. I was walking home and I saw my car with the L plate on. And then I looked at the front door with the family behind it, and I had a bit of a moment, and I thought, right, we'll do this in the 21st century way. We'll get the camera out and record a video. So recorded a video, shared that with the people on our local networks, WhatsApp, Facebook. And we shared that with them, and it was just telling them that it was all right to be scared. And I think it was for me as much as anyone else, but there was a really big response to it. And a lot of people got in touch that I didn't know, some people that I did, and just said, this is my story. And I had some really scary moments that I managed to talk through with people and help them. And I had some lovely ones as well. And I think that made a real difference to us.
So together we set up the Facebook page, and we set back channeling information for ADIs, simplified headline-based news from all the areas and all the sources, including DVSA, ADINJC, DIA, HMRC, and others from wider afield.
I think over the following weeks, the associations really stepped up. The ADINJC have been a shining light for the whole of lockdown. The work that they've put in, phenomenal job. And the risk assessments, I think I've had emails from risk assessments to weight loss coming through from them, and some real guidance on lots of different factors. So yeah, it's just us. No one else knows about those. But they really stepped up, and the DIA stepped in as well.
And the DIA stepped up, particularly with those wanting to tackle the key or critical worker challenges. And while we can criticise the communication and guidance, the DVSA tackled the mammoth task of managing testing in these unprecedented times. Yeah. As we're speaking, we're yet to see how this is going to pan out. Hopefully, it will resolve itself and normality can resume as quickly as possible.
So that's us.
Fab. Thanks, guys. I've got to say that I did start getting a lot of your updates, and we shared them on our social media, I know as well. It was really helpful, and your group did become something that I would look for information from. So yeah, thanks a lot.
No, thank you for supporting it. So yeah, lovely.